So hello everybody. So I would like just to give you some to share with you some points that I think is interesting to write a proposal. So to start with main points, I would say that you need to really be careful when you select the topic. So first you need to take something that you really like, because it will be a lot of work after to coordinate and to work with the other teams. And so you need to be sure that it goes with in the direction you want to go for the research you want to plan also. And then it's good to take a project for which you think that collaborations are very important, that you cannot do yourself, because it should be interdisciplinary, it should be intersectorial. And so it's important not to try to build that later in an artificial way, but it should be really thought from the beginning to select the teams with who you will work, to be sure that you can really gain from these collaborations. Then, all the projects are found to whatever the topic. However, from my own experience, they were not all successful, the proposals. I could say that you need to show that it is innovative and not too conventional. If we take something which is like too classical, it will be much more difficult to manage to be granted. You need to choose the type of project you want to do between joint industrial or normal doctoral network. This Julien already spoke about. And then for the choice of the partner, there again, it's very important to be sure that you have a complementarity expertise. It's important after that we really work together. So this is a specific point. Also that you don't have competition between the teams which will be involved. And it's also important to be sure that all partners want to play the game and to be part of the project after. So sometimes it's better to have an institution which is a bit less known than a very worldwide scientist, but which will be able to be involved in a concrete way after in the project, that will participate to all the meetings you will do, etc. And then you need to find some participation from the private sector. So this is sometimes difficult because it's a lot of negotiation, and then when they say yes, they still need to have the approval from the lawyers of the company. And so my advice is to start this step as soon as possible to be sure that they will have time to settle all the agreements and to have the yes from their company. And so what I usually do if I have to write a project is I start with some ideas that I do like a 3-page project, which summarize the idea, the objective within a framework which is available. And I send this 3-page project to invite partners with who I would like to work. Usually they all say yes, if they know they don't have to do many things and you will write the project, they are all interested to have new PhD. So it's not too difficult to find people. And then if they are interested, what I ask is that they write like 1 or 2 pages how they see their possible contribution. And so from that, I can write a first document that I will use as a roadmap to write the rest of the project. And so it's a summary of the state of the art, the main ideas and objectives. The contribution of each partner is important. And so also at this time, it's already good to have few lines on the role of each doctoral candidate you will hire, who will be supervisor and all. Sometimes it's difficult later to say that this team will have 3 PhD, this one 2. It's better, I think, to handle that from the beginning. And then also a description of the whole of the private sector. So for me, if we have this document, it's already allows to have a first discussion with all the partners and see if they agree with the project, and to be sure that you start with a good base. What is very difficult on this kind of project, because all is interconnected, is to make change later. So it's better to really be sure that you have a good starting point before starting writing the project. Then some general comments. Writing alone or not, from my experience, I think it's easier to write alone, but ask help from different sections, or to ask people to read and comment the proposal. But it's very difficult to keep consistency when every party are doing a certain group. So to keep the cohesion of the proposal, the best is to write it alone. And then, yeah, you need to make, in any case, you need to be sure that you have a lot of links between the different sections and all is consistent. So it takes time. It will be your main activity. For me, it's like 2 months where I am really concentrated on that. The first version is always too long. This is normal. So we have only 35 pages for the first part. It is short at the end, but I think it's like that. And the best is to write without taking care of that and to shorten by after. At the end, you will just keep what is really essential for the project. And then think about the reviewers who have to read the proposal. So it's good to add colors in the proposal, some cartoons, and to have something which looks good at the end, because otherwise it should be very boring to read. Then you need some contribution from, from the partners, and this is good to start from the beginning because some of them are very slow. So we have all the supporting letters. So I have understood today that we don't need to have from the associate partners. So this is a good point. You have this joint agreements if you do a joint PhD. All this takes time, so start as soon as possible. And then you have the A forms. This is quite easy to fulfill. It should be like, I don't know, 2 hours per group. But some of the groups are not used to the EU portal. And so it's good to start from the beginning to be sure that it will not be stressful at the end. And each partner can fill their own A forms as soon as the proposal is done. So I see I'm too slow. No, it's okay. I'm not too slow. So you also need from the partners several points. So the best is to first define the work package and the work package leader. So this is typically a way to split your proposal in different work packages. And from that, in this part, you need to make the work package description in a section, maybe 3, so a bit later in the proposal. And this, to me, is the real content of the project. So I show you an example here. So it's table 3.1 in the proposal. And there you see that we need to be more accurate on what will be exactly the scientific, in my case, or whatever, what you do as a project, but you need to be very accurate on what will be the different tasks in this work package. So this is important to ask help because you cannot know all, of course, the expertise of your colleagues. And from this, what I usually do is that you can define tasks, and this task will be used later to do the deliverable, also to define the exact content of the research project of each doctoral candidate. So this is the work package description. This takes time and you need help from the consortium. You can also ask to your partners what could be the lectures they could give to the network related to the topic, with one title and few lines on description. This will be helpful to write the training part. And then you need to think about the impact of the project. So in terms of industrial application, environment, society, education, all the topics that they ask in the proposal. And then it's good to collect ideas from your colleagues also, because you cannot know all. And then we have this part B2, which is easy to write. Again, each partner will have to fulfill 1 page with several indications. At the end, it can take a lot of time to have something like homogeneous. So what I advise you to do is to do it for yourself, to send your page and ask all the partners to follow exactly the same template. So at the end, you have something which is consistent all together. For me, after a few tests and some successful, some unsuccessful proposal, I would say that we have 7 pages to convince. What I mean is that I think after 7 pages, the reviewer know if they will grant or probably start to know if they will grant or not the project. After you have a lot of details about a lot of points to fulfill, and it's easy to find something which is not good or something which is good. So I think you really need to be very clear in this 7 first page. And what are these 7 first page? So the title are shown here. So introduction, objective, an overview of the research program, very important, pertinence of the innovative aspect of the research program. So here, so they need to be convinced that you need to have a doctoral network to reach objectives. and they need to be convinced that the project can have a large impact at the European level or other levels. Some few comments. The introduction is state of the art, so it should stay accessible. So the experts are experts, but still make sure that someone close to your field, but not exactly in your field, will understand it. But you also need to show that you are the right person to do it, that it is really where you are known for the field. For the objective of the research program, you need to try to be communicative and give some real example. For example, you can list a question. You can do a list of questions that you want to address typically. So at least people will realize what you mean. If it is too, I think it's really a part which is important, and you need to stress the message. And it's also important to show that it is interdisciplinary and intersectoral. The overview of the research program. So this is a very important part. For me, it took me some time to understand, but it's important that at the end of this program, the reviewers have a clear idea of the whole structure of the program. So, for example, you need to present the research work package in few lines, maybe already with a cartoon. It's good, I think, to already mention yes, this is an example from the proposal, like it's just 2 lines, but I had that for all before it was ESR, now it's DC, so all the doctoral candidates, just that they already know how it will be organized, in which work package they will work, with which university. And so from that, they can already see the whole structure of the project. And then you need to clearly define the non-academic, the role of the non-academic sector already here in the research program. And you need to detail the expected outcome. And so again, you need to give a clear idea about the organization and the role of each partner and each doctoral candidate. So it's like a small summary of the rest of the remaining section. So for the other section, there I would say that you need to follow exactly the instruction of the guide. So if they mention something, take it as a subtitle, but it should appear very clearly in the proposal. So at some point, they just have, like, they do check, and you need to be sure that you have written something on each point that they propose. And sometimes in the guide you receive, there are already a lot of details. Sometimes you can just take a same sentence. If they say that this should be done in agreement with this text, it's good to say that you will do the project in agreement with this text. So because they need to find this information in the proposal. So there are for me, a difficult part is all about IP and data management plans. So there, don't hesitate to ask help from your administration. That's what I have done, for example, to really know how to handle this part. Sometimes we are not so familiar with that. So it's important to understand before the writing of the project. And then you need to do a lot of links between the task, work package, doctoral candidate project. So here I show again an example in the project, because we have these work packages which are very well described. Then with the task, so the deliverable are many reports related to the task. And at the end, the project of the doctoral candidate is very small, because it just refers to a certain number of deliverables which are written here, and just say like the minimum to cover the topic. So it's a way to gain place, because you will see at the end it's difficult. Then for the budget, yeah, you need to handle this budget. So I would say keep it simple. So already for industrial segments or visits, if it is a short visit, it's better that to keep the money in the main institution, and that this institution will pay for all the expenses related to this visit, in place of changing the contract all the time. Then for what we usually do is that we create like a global budget. And so we take, this is what we do, but this is up to you, of course. We take 550 euros per month per researcher, per month, out of this 1,600 euros. And for the management, And this allows us to cover all the expenses related to the event. So if we organize a summer school, if we organize the biannual meetings we organize, all is paid on place by this budget. That means it's very convenient because we can, people are there, but they don't have, it's the same for everybody, and it's good for the cohesion of the group also. It's very easy to organize. So usually we need something like 15, it depends on the group, but in your case, 15,000 euros per event. So from that, we also cover the traveling expenses from the visiting experts and the person who comes to present and to teach. We also have all the expenses for the associate partners, industrial partners. We can have specific materials, some outreach activities. All is covered by this global training money. The global management money is mainly to pay a project manager. This I really advise you to plan, because you have a lot of deliverables, meetings to organize, and it's really helpful to have someone who can handle that in a more daily basis. Also for the website, kickoff, contingency, etc. And so maybe you can wonder if it's good to take a consultant or not. I don't have really an opinion. I never use a consultant. It was the case for one of the projects in which I was involved. And I would just say that you need to keep in mind that they will never make a critical points on your research part. So this is good to ask people to do it, because they will not comment this part. And what is important is to keep your project doable and manageable. What I have seen when we had this specific consultant, so I don't know for the other ones, is that at the end, we had a project with a lot of large audience conference, with a lot of activities to promote the network. This is really important, but it's not the most important for the project. It should be still doable. And so I think we need to keep the good balance between the research part and these communication activities. And if I take comments I received this year from the reviewers, you see that they will say that it is very credibly described in a credible exploitation activity. So I think they appreciate also the fact that it is reasonable. So it's not good to oversell these communication activities. It should just be there, and we plan to do them, but it should be in right balance. What is very important for me is to make sure that you have someone who can give you honest feedback on your project. When I say honest, it's someone who says, no, this is not clear, you need to start again. I don't understand what you want to say, it's not convincing, that who is not afraid to say negative points on your project. This makes, for me, it makes a huge difference. If the project is not grand, I would just say don't give up. So usually the comments we receive from the experts are very good and very useful to improve the project. When we receive them, we don't like them, we say it's details, you don't understand, but if you read them again a few months after, you will see that it will be much clearer. And I think it's a good base to start again. So for example, for our first project, we submitted 3 times, and each time we understood better how it was working. So I think it makes sense to submit again. And with that, I just want to tell you that they are very nice projects with a lot of freedom, quite easy to handle at the end, and it makes a lot of collaborations and a lot of souvenirs. Yeah, thank you.